Hello students, welcome back again. So here, today we will begin a new chapter from your textbook Beehive, and the chapter's name is Sound of Music, okay? Part 1. Evelyn Glenn listens to sound without hearing it. Okay, please remember this, okay? Sound without hearing it. Alright. And the writer's name is Deborah Coley. So you know the writers, Deborah, okay, or full name is Deborah Coley. She's an Ottawa-based writer and broadcaster, and she has worked for CBC Radio in Washington D.C. and also she worked in CBC Television, okay, which is in London, Cairo, and even in Egypt. Okay, so before I explain the full story, okay, let's see what is the theme, or what do you learn from this, or what we are going to learn from this chapter. Let me just explain to you in 1 or 2 sentences. So the Sound of Music is the biographical pieces tell us how, you know, our shared determination and hard work, our perseverance and also courage can help achieve anything. Okay, so if we have, you know, determination, then everything is possible. Yeah, and this is what we're going to learn from this chapter. Okay, so here we go. Before we read, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Number 2, read the following account of a person who fought against a physical disability and made her life a successful story. So let's see what happened here. You know, God has taken her, a girl, okay, her hearing. She could not hear, but in return, God gave her back something extraordinary. So what is that something extraordinary? Let's have a look here. She can hear, she can feel, you know, deeply than any of us. See, that is why she could express music so beautifully. Now here we will read her account of a person, which means biographical. Okay, so this is about a person based on a true life. Okay, true life story. So she was disabled. Okay, she has a disability. So at last, she could able to learn all this music, even though she could not hear. Made her life a successful story. So let's see here. Rush hours. Okay, rush hour means you might have seen in the movie, right? Rush hour. It means mass movement at the same time. Okay, suppose you are going to school and going to office, and while returning causes, you know, a mass movement at the same time. That's called rush hour. Yeah. Crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. People of Scotland is only Scottish, right? Okay, but this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Okay, so here jostle means push roughly, and slight means small and thin girl. Daunting means frightening. Okay, and aspiring musician here. It's all given here clearly, so just go through that. A person who wants to be a musician. All right, so that day, you know, a small and thin girl, might be around 17 years. She was quite nervous, and it was on the underground train platform. Okay, and this little girl felt the vibration of approaching train. It was rush hour time. See, pushing roughly, people were pushing roughly to get their own position. So this little girl could hear felt the vibrations of the coming train. And it was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music, which is in London. And she was very frightened, okay? And for any teenage girl from a Scottish farm, she is from Scotland, coming from Scottish farm. So for a teenage girl around 17, 16 years, was so frightened and so nervous, okay? Because it's the first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of School. But here she has one challenge, a bigger challenge. This little girl is aspiring musician, see, a person who wants to be a musician, okay? That was her aim in life. She wants to become a musician in her life, but she's still facing a bigger challenge than most. What was that? She was profoundly deaf. She was profoundly means completely deaf, okay? Okay, let's here go to the next paragraph. Evelyn Glen's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she did not move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard. She hadn't heard, says Isabel Glen. Full stop. Okay. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her. Conceal means to hide, okay? Hiding. Hiding, hiding, okay? Her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated, and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a. Okay. Let me just explain this first. So what happened one day, see, Evelyn's mother noticed that Evelyn, when she was 8 years old, was waiting to play the piano. She noticed that her mother noticed that something was wrong with Evelyn Glen, okay? This little girl, they called her name Evelyn, but then she did not move. And her mother realized that her daughter, Evelyn Glen, had not heard, okay? It's Isabel Glen, it's her mother, Isabel Glen, okay? And for quite a while, okay, Evelyn managed to conceal. So conceal means to hide, okay, her deafness from friends and teachers. But later on, what happened? They came to know at last that she could not hear, okay? So by the time, see, what happened was that since she could not hear, she started, securing low marks in her studies, in her subjects. So her headmistress, told her parents to take her to a next page specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. Okay, since Evelyn, performance in the school was deteriorating, okay? It was discovered that, and teachers advised her parents to concern a specialist, okay, to take Evelyn to a specialist. Okay, and it was discovered that her hearing impaired, okay, this small girl hearing impaired is a result of her nerve were damaged, so it was severely impaired, okay? And they even advised her that Evelyn should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to school for a deaf school, okay? So everything looked very black, very dark for Evelyn. All right. Here, impaired means weakened. Now let's go to the third paragraph. Okay, but Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes, okay, spotted her potential. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. Do not listen through your ears, he says. Try to sense it some other way, says Evelyn. Suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down. Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sound and vibrations. See, the rest was sheer determination and hard work. Just go through the words meaning here. Percussionist, a person who plays drum, okay? Tabla, okay. Potential means quality, ability that can be developed. But you know, Evelyn, a little girl, she was not going to give up, okay? She never surrendered, okay? She has a strong determination that one day she will become a good musician, yeah? She got to see her interest in music, and one day, little girl Evelyn, okay? She noticed, okay, this little girl Evelyn noticed a little girl playing a xylophone, and so Evelyn decided to play with it. She too wants to play the xylophone, but most of the teachers discouraged her. Okay, but there was one person, a percussionist, a drummer, his name was Ron Forbes, spotted Evelyn's potential ability. Okay, so he advised Evelyn to listen through her ears. Okay, he started playing two drums, two different notes, and he said try to sense it some other way. And then suddenly what happened, Evelyn could feel the drum from the west up in the west, and lower from the west down. He could sense, okay, or he could feel the drum, sound of a drum. Alright, so Forbes repeated exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense her. At last Evelyn, okay, discovered that she could sense some parts, different parts, notes in different parts of her body, okay. And she said that she had learned to open her mind and body to sound and vibration, sense, using the sense, okay. Now she could differentiate the sound and the vibration, okay, and the rest are sheer determination and hard work, see. So if you have sheer determination and hard work, you can achieve everything is possible, yeah. Okay, now fourth paragraph. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to take music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3 years course, she had captured most of the top awards. Okay, auditions, audition, right, students? Okay, it's a short performance that the directors decide whether you are good or not. Okay, so from that point onwards, okay, Evelyn never looked back. She started touring United Kingdom with youth orchestra, okay, by the time she was 16 years. And she also decided to make music her life, okay, her passion. So she auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored the highest marks in the history of the Academy, okay. And she gradually moved from orchestra to solo. Solo is single, right? Single performances. Orchestra, they performs in a group, and solo is single, okay. So she moved from orchestra to solo performance. So what happened at the end of 3 years course? That was a 3 years course. Okay? At the end of that, she had captured most of the top awards. See? She received many top awards. Okay, most of the top awards. Okay, let's go to paragraph 5. And all for this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there. And she got right on top. The world's most sought after a multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments with hectic international scheduled. Okay, so it says that if someone work hard, okay, where you are going, sure you'll get it, right? You'll get there. See, and Evelyn was so busy, okay. See, hectic means very busy, okay. International scheduled, okay. It's a time, isn't it? The timetable, okay. So she was so busy, see, playing some thousands of instruments. So this is kind of heroic achievement for her, and she got right to the top. See, this is the achievement, this is the success, okay. All right, let's go to the next paragraph. It is intriguing, which means curious, inquisitive, curious, okay, to watch Evelyn's function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Man with bushy birds gave me trouble, she laughed. Okay. So it was very, curious, very interesting, okay, to watch this Evelyn's function, okay. And in the what happened in one incident happened, okay, that in 2-hour discussion, okay, she never missed a word, and she said, "Man with the bushy birds give me trouble," she laughed. Okay. Next page it is. Okay, if you look at the picture, she is the girl Evelyn, and it is intriguing. See, curious to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. See, and it is not just watching the lips; it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt, lilt, a way of speaking, Scottish accent, right? Scotland, from the Scotland, which is in England, right? And it's not only watching her lips, but the whole face, especially eyes. Okay, she speaks flawlessly with a Scottish accent. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says, but that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. And Evelyn said that her speech is clear because she could hear till she was 11 years. And she doesn't explain that. See, they were surprised to know that. How could Evelyn learn French and even basic Japanese, okay, language? So they were surprised. Okay, here. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tinkles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. By leaning against the drum, she can feel the resonance. Resonance means echoes or sounds flowing into her body, okay? On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that vibration passes through her bare feet and up her legs, okay? Okay, so for music, Evelyn explains that it downpours through every part of her body, okay? Tinkles, that music tinkles her skin, see, even cheekbones, even in her hair. Music is everywhere in her body, okay? And whenever she plays xylophone, okay, she can sense the sound of passing up the sticks into her fingertips. And sometimes even by leaning, leaning means recline, isn't it, against the drums, she can feel the echoes, she can feel the flowing sounds into her body. And whenever she walks on the wooden platform, okay, a floor made of wood, isn't it wooden, she removes her shoes so that vibration passes through her barefoot up into her legs. Okay, all right, let's go to the next page then. Right, paragraph 8. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Okay, says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. It is already mentioned, is it, before? Okay, so Evelyn delights her audiences, okay? And what happened in 1991? She was presented the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious soloist. Just got to memorize these students, okay? No other way. Just memorize, okay, of the year, the word. And master percussionist, okay, James Blade says that, oh, God might have taken her hearing, but God has given her back something extraordinary in return, okay? What we hear, she feels, see, far deeply. She could hear, she could feel deeply, more deeply than any one of us, okay? Any one of them. So that's the reason why Evelyn expresses music so beautifully, right? Because she could feel much more, see, deeply better than any of us. That is why she could express music so beautifully. All right, let's go to the paragraph 9. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic, okay? Workaholic means a person who is difficult to stop. It's addicted to work, okay? Cannot stay without working, okay? So she says that she's something like, addicted to work. I've just got to work, but often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concert in prisons and hospitals. Remember these students, prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to class for young musicians. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Alright, so the rewards that she receives are enormous, means very big, very large, okay? And she loves to work. And apart from regular concerts, sometimes she gives free concert even in prisons and hospital, and she gives high priority, okay, privilege to for younger musicians, okay. And Anne Richlin is a person's name of the Beethoven Fun for Deaf Children says. See, Evelyn is a shining inspiration for all the deaf children. You see, they see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. See, so Evelyn is a shining inspiration for all the children. Okay, deaf children. See, they say that they can. There is nothing that they cannot do. See, there is nowhere that they cannot. They can do anything. All right. Now let's go to the last paragraph now. Evelyn Glenn was already accomplished. Accomplished means successful. Yeah. More than most people twice her age. See, so she could accomplish more than, well, comparing with other children. Okay, she has already accomplished twice more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped. See, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can do. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. So Evelyn has demonstrated, okay, everything, her talent, okay, and people were so happy about it. And Evelyn Glenn, given an inspiration to all these handicapped children, okay, handicapped students, okay, and people who look up and they say that if Evelyn can do it, I can do it. This is how they get inspiration from Evelyn. And it's not only that, she has given innermost a very large pleasure to all the millions, okay. The writer's name is Deborah Coley. Right. Now students are thinking about a text. I have already given the notes. Just go through it, understand it, and yeah, the part 2 I will continue in my next class. So before I wind up, I want to give you a homework. So grab your pen quickly. So students, what is the theme of this story, The Sound of Music? Even though she could not hear, okay, she can sing, okay, she can play music perfectly. So it shows that determination and hard work, or your perseverance, okay, and courage can alone help achieve anything if you put in our heart and soul to it. And moreover, no handicap, okay, or barriers can break one's way if one has the will to live their dreams. No one can stop as long as we have this hard work, determination, and courage. Okay, that is what we learned from this story, Sound of Music. All right, so here is your homework now. I'm gonna dictate it. So there are 4 questions, and words limit would be 30 to 40 words, okay? Not less than 30, not more than 40 words. So question number 1, why was Evelyn excited and nervous while leaving Royal Academy of Music? Clearly written in the first page. Let me repeat. Why was Evelyn excited and nervous while leaving Royal Academy of Music? Okay, question number 2. How did Evelyn's apostrophe S parents, plural, come to discover her deafness? Question mark. One more time. How did Evelyn's apostrophe S parents, plural, come to discover her deafness? Great. Question number 3. Which qualities of character enabled Evelyn to move ahead in life? Which qualities, plural, okay, write in plural, of character enabled past tense, enabled, Evelyn to move ahead in life? The last question for today is, what is Evelyn's contribution to percussion? Okay, what is Evelyn's apostrophe contribution to percussion? So students, please submit your homework in time, and as I have told you, do your homework, okay, honestly and sincerely, or else, as I have told you, see, there will be no marks for your homework submission. Yeah, so submit it before 5 p.m. today itself. So thanks for being with me, students. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next class. Till then, you take care. Have a good one. Bye bye.